know if we're back. We've just experienced a very bizarre sequence of events.
That's what happens when you go over to Diddle Island. You get diddled.
Right. Let's see if it comes back here. If it does, that will be a Christmas miracle, Charles.
Exactly.
But I don't think it will. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be. Well, it's unfortunate if it's lost. I don't know what happened, but all right, I think we've got a new video here that's live.
Okay.
So we're back.
All right, let's go. Let's go down
crazy.
Towards Washington Square Park, where I'm sure there'll be quite a spectacle.
So what were we saying before all of that?
I don't think we should say anything like what we were saying before. Something that we were talking about by the piano there, and but now, what is the name of this hotel here? This is the Standard?
Gansevoort.
Gansevoort, okay. And that's that club over there, or is that the?
This is the Gansevoort. That's the Soho House. And then the Standard is
down there,
over there by the High Line. So boy, that was really annoying, and there's a lot of people who are on the other stream that are gonna miss this. I don't know why, Charles. It seems like I'm just not able to, no matter what.
If it's not one thing, it's another.
Yeah, no matter the preparation or elimination of problematic components, there's just always something happening with this.
Yeah, we can go down Hudson here and vector over to Washington Square Park. So this is getting to be unseasonably warm, actually. If you go back to 2012, 10 years ago, Hurricane Sandy happened on October 27th, I think. I may have that wrong, but it was around October 27th, and it was freaking cold. I mean,
sometimes it's warm on Thanksgiving.
I'm just saying, but this is a little bit, it's unseasonably warm. And it's nice to see all these folks around, strolling around, some of these shops open and restaurants open. I don't see yet people in costumes, and I would expect to see more people in costumes,
probably
particularly over here. Maybe, yeah, in the park we're going to see them, I think. But I think I was talking about...
That woman was dressed as your yoga instructor.
Right. I think I was talking about whether Vladimir Putin would be terribly worried about the brain trust of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and now Nancy Pelosi. Because I got to believe Nancy Pelosi, if she has an eighth of her brain left at this point, is certainly...
Pickled in booze?
Well, it's certainly... I mean, she has to know if there's an issue with her husband being a crazy man. This can't be the first time. I mean, we know it's at least the second time.
It's the second time in 6 months.
6 months, I think.
Wasn't it June that he had that? Yeah, 4 months, 5 months?
Yeah, I mean, so these are the type of things. I mean, it's been a long time since I was married and or in a relationship with somebody, but these are the kind of relationship killers that you like, hi, Nancy, I know there's nothing significant going on in 2022. I mean, you're not the Speaker of the House and there's not a pivotal election coming up. Just to let you know, there's a story coming. I crashed the Porsche with this guy who left, and I was shit-faced, and drunk driving's a problem, and you've been making an issue of it, and people think you drink too much, and we're too rich, and I trade on instant information. So I just did this for you, honey.
I mean, the guy seems to have an alcohol problem, right? I mean, you would think, I think a lot of people have had, or many people at least, have had issues in their life where something bad happens as a result of an alcohol incident.
Right.
And for most people, that can be a wake-up call to get you to say, you know what, I'm 82, my wife's one of the most important politicians in the world, maybe it's time to stop being such a fuck-up.
Right.
And let me just take a break from the booze for 6 months and not have some weirdo nudist naked guy with a hammer.
Right.
And what's with the hammer?
Yeah, and maybe more than one hammer. And the thing is, people talk about October surprises. I mean, this is an October surprise I don't think it was the Republicans who arranged this.
Certainly not.
I mean,
this is Paul Pelosi getting into his own trouble and Hillary and Joe jumping to the conclusion that it's something that it isn't. Actually, by the way, same way they jumped to the conclusion that a proliferation of N-words
Right.
on Twitter. Did we talk about that on the show here yet?
I don't think so.
That LeBron James was tweeting at Elon Musk that the N-word has increased usage 500% since Elon Musk took it over.
Oh, come on. I mean,
Well, no, it did, but the most obvious explanation is that somebody created a bunch of fake accounts, put that out there and said, oh, look at how bad Elon Musk is because he's not moderating the content. And Twitter guy, who was the head of, from a programming standpoint, the head of security or whatever, who's still there, hasn't been fired, he came out and said, we've already looked at each of these accounts and they're all fake.
Right.
So Elon Musk said, there you go.
Right.
So LeBron James, very good at basketball,
Yeah, he should stick to
maybe
basketball.
not a computer expert.
He should stick to basketball. I mean, and it's just, when you, I don't have a lot going on in my life, so one of the things I like to do is go shopping for food every evening, except on a few days a week where I go out. And so I buy regularly the same sorts of things, and I've noticed, like, I go and I buy something and the price of it is up 30%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this can't be right. Did I make a mistake? Let's go down Bleecker here.
But it is right.
But it is right. And so in your daily life, you know, Joe Biden gets up there and says, I cut the price of gas from $5 a barrel down. No, you didn't.
No, he didn't.
Even Brett Baer said twice, no, this is not right. Then he put up the graph, which showed that it's absolutely not right. And to make that kind of a statement, Biden's in a place where for his entire life he's gotten away with talking shit, and he's president of the United States today.
Right.
You know,
so why change now?
Here we go. Here's a little party.
And it's the same thing that Hillary did when she said.
On the kids, though.
It's the same thing that Hillary did when she said that she didn't have any classified information in her emails. It's like, wait a minute, you can't just go back
Here's
and say
thing
the
one and thing two.
total opposite of the truth.
See, thing one, thing two. Those aren't kids. Nice. Happy Halloween. Are you in the Biden cabinet?
Thing one and thing two. That would be disaster one and disaster two.
Yeah. But this is a lot more lively over here. If you'll remember, when in 2020, when we walked through here, most of these stores were closed. It seems they've come back.
Good. Is Eric Adams going to pretend to be the actual mayor for Halloween?
Who knows? Get rid of that idiot. So,
Louis Vuitton stock will go down.
What, does he have Louis Vuitton luggage?
I don't know. I just always see him wearing different ridiculous outfits in the New York Post.
Yeah.
Ah, that's funny. That little kid was dressed as a character that she shouldn't even be allowed to see.
Who's that?
Harley Quinn.
Oh, shouldn't you be allowed to say?
It's just the Joker's girlfriend, and it's a pretty. That
Racing?
was Margot Robbie, so.
Now you're speaking Swahili again, Jason.
It's a pretty sexual character.
All right. There's that Magnolia Bakery. I think that's the original.
That is the original one.
And generally speaking, and maybe I'm surprised it's open today, but
it's usually a huge line.
A huge line over there. Now there used to be just that outlet.
Yeah.
Now it's in many places. But okay, you can get a ring here if you want. And I think this is fake silver. This is silver plate.
That's ridiculous. But it's also plates, so maybe that's okay.
Well, you know, if it's, some say it's ridiculous, but on the other hand, it takes a lot of time to polish silver, and the polish itself is,
But if it's silver plated, don't you still have to do that?
I don't know that you have. I don't know. You don't have to treat it the same way, but I don't believe in fake stuff.
It's tarnished.
I'd rather have one real silver fork than a whole bunch of fake crap.
I just use a regular fork.
This is where I get my cashmere.
Whoa.
Not so much. But back in 40, 50 years ago, this area was, to the extent the stores were open, they were old-fashioned village stores, and now, every
A lot of brands.
fashion maven around the world figures they have to have a shop on Bleecker Street, which is nice if you live in the area. Yeah, this guy hangs out
it's strange. It's like a lot of just like standing around, not rather than moving through the streets, which is what is usually happening.
These are,
Well, it's because more stores than normal are closed and people are setting up stuff like this where normally they would be chased away.
just very European to stand around.
Well, to come to New York and stand around,
Right,
yeah, that's very
right,
European.
That's right. Especially on the corner of the
Yeah.
street, blocking traffic in both directions.
Right,
I think we'll
smoking a
stop.
cigarette or having
Yes.
a conversation or
Where
looking
can
at
I
your
get
phone.
a light for my Gauloise? You mean your stink bomb? This is cute, Little Words project.
Or is this that thing where you put magnetic letters on your fridge and people come over to your house and write rude things on there?
I think it's a trust fund vanity project. You know, that's. Oh yes, darling, that store is going to go gangbusters. Why don't you get another hanky panky? That underwear shop, not like any. There are no underwear shops, and you know, Victoria's Secret's not out of business. So,
Somebody got a good deal at the police auction.
oh, the police place is right here.
Or maybe that's their actual car. Yeah, so they continue to do nothing, NYPD.
Oh yeah. Should I tell? I should tell our audience the story of yesterday. So I was up on around in the mid-30s on 6th Avenue, having breakfast on the second floor of a deli. It's a nice place actually, and I'm finished that, and I call you and have a conversation with you, and these cops come in, sit right next to me, two of them, not eating, just sit there for 45 minutes.
What?
And then I leave eventually, we get off the phone, and I go outside, and about 3/4 of a block up, there's this woman in a COVID station, you know, and this person of color walks up to the woman, starts yelling at, "Yo, bitch, give me this, give me that," then starts
Monkeypox test.
cleaning the shit off her table, just like throwing it at her. And then for good measure, he takes the table and throws the table on her.
How did this woman react?
She was petrified, and you know, I was not about to get in the middle of that,
No.
but I thought to myself, why don't I go and inquire whether the two deli occupants might be willing to maybe engage in some work,
Right, no.
you know, on a Saturday. So I get them to come downstairs, and this guy is, you know, he has obviously had a very bad life or whatever. He's just picking fights with everybody. And I leave that to, you know, unfold however it ultimately did unfold. But, you know, the level of mayhem, notwithstanding this is Halloween where you expect mayhem, the level of mayhem in Manhattan is just crazy.
Yeah. Well, because they've spent the past 2 years letting everybody know that you can basically do anything and
Right.
there'll be no police response.
Yeah. And, you know, I don't know why you care about it. So it's
Yeah, I don't know why you're
local.
so upset about this, Lee Zeldin. It's only crime. I mean, you know, it's not
only
like you're
a
going to get
fire.
stabbed or pushed down the stairs of the subway or something like that.
You know, this guy.
This guy doesn't look like my kind of guy.
Oh, what is AHS?
That's a filming notice.
AHS? What's that?
AHS is American Horror Story, I think. And it's probably FX. It's something to do with, well, actually, that probably just says that if you're coming to this thing, you're agreeing to be filmed.
Right.
Here's another weed store, I think.
There's the
Charles.
guy who likes brown.
I would be more inclined.
Is Vera meat some sort of fake meat?
No doubt.
Or maybe it's a butcher shop owned by someone named Vera.
Yeah, it's an extension of Vera Wang's evening
Yes,
gown.
exactly.
Vera meat.
Vera Wang is offering meat wedding dresses now for Lady Gaga.
Yeah. So this is the way I used to walk to St. Luke's School when I was a
like
kid.
burning plastic.
Down that way, Grove Street up to St. Luke's School, where I live. And
I mean, this is really the first significant walking around that I've done since returning.
this used to be AOC, the great French restaurant. It really was pretty good.
Was it actually called AOC?
It was, and in the back of it is a nice garden patio. This has long been a very nice French bistro.
Well, it's too bad, though.
See?
But nothing, of course, to do
Where
with
the lights are.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah. Idiot.
It was pretty cool that Ilhan Omar was getting heckled by a
As-
bunch of leftists who said that she is a warmonger now.
As did AOC, as
Yeah.
did Stretch, the one,
Stretch?
Obama.
Oh, right. Now, I saw a video that Cheryl Atkinson had tweeted where everybody was chanting F Joe Biden while Obama was trying to speak, and it was unclear if that had been added or if that was actually being chanted.
Yeah, I mean, people have different levels of arrogance, and I think you have to. This is
Joe Biden's going into
there he
business
is.
with O.J.
That's
Simpson.
That's where Hunter is. See Hunter in there? There's Hunter, and there's what's his Bo's wife?
It's
Haley.
Haley, yeah.
Hunter and Haley.
Well, but this is going to be, partner up with O.J. Simpson. And there you go.
But everybody, as I was starting to say, everybody has a certain level of arrogance. Some people aren't arrogant at all. Others are extremely arrogant. And here, Obama over the weekend had the nerve to say that Herschel Walker was just another celebrity trying to be a senator, and he had some nerve running to be a senator. And let's just think about that comment for a second. When Barack Obama ran for the U.S. Senate, what had he accomplished?
Nothing.
I mean, he was a celebrity because of his parentage.
But not even. He wasn't a celebrity then.
Well, he got a book deal he shouldn't have gotten, right?
But that was probably because they wanted to make him a celebrity. Herschel Walker at least earned his celebrity
The hard
by
way.
being super good at football.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of people who are athletic believe that they can make it into the football pros. And they
can't.
learn the very hard way just how hard it is to get even on a team. Take, for example, that idiot, what's the guy with the hair?
Oh, Kaepernick.
Yeah. He
Right.
made it into the pros, but he got bounced and he can't get back. Tim Tebow made it and he couldn't get back. And, here you have Herschel Walker.
What about Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, is
He's got problems with the
yeah, but
Brazilian
that's a different thing. But this Herschel Walker is an astounding contributor to a very difficult sport. Indeed, some of the feats he accomplished were firsts at the time that have not been equal since. And for Obama to say today, for the man who collects oceanfront, estates, going around the world on private planes warning us about global warming,
Right.
to say that Herschel Walker is just some minor celebrity trying to be a senator, he deserves to be shouted down in Georgia and everywhere else. He's an idiot when it comes to making these kind of comments. Let's just go over here for a second.
Sure. Isn't it also racist?
Yeah. And, we're going to keep going. And,
Yeah.
that's before we start going into Obama's track record on endorsing. It's not very good, right?
I think this person works at Twitter.
Which person?
This loud, I just, got a latte and went to the break room and did some yoga. Okay, what's this? A new ice cream place, Charles. Oh, no, it's not new.
Ice cream, isn't that fattening?
Well, yeah, but it's delicious.
This is nice. Nice, the new French
Modern
pastry
French
place.
desserts.
My daughter briefly worked as a wait member of the wait staff at a predecessor restaurant, and they screwed her. They didn't pay her, or
man.
on a pretext. And so I wished them to go out of business,
And it worked.
it worked. Oh, they promptly went out of business. Not because of me, but
Well, it sounds like they probably had some pretty bad.
you don't stiff your employees.
Right. I mean, that's crazy.
But
Here's another smoke CBD outlet.
I know you're not particularly into this type of food.
Fiacchios.
Faicos is pronounced, but this place is really an amazing store.
It's closed.
No, it's only closed. It's definitely always open. If you can, I don't know if you can see through here, but this is one of your old-fashioned village. This place has been here forever, and it truly, if you're into Italian food,
Yeah, no, it looks good.
you can get stuff that's very hard to find here.
This also reminds me
Wow,
that
it's open on Sunday. That's
apparently
amazing.
not. Oh, it closes at 3.
And this,
The thing they had, Charles, on that guy DePape's house, Black Lives Matter sign, marijuana flag. He's not MAGA.
This is also famous. You've been here,
Murray's
right?
cheese.
Yeah. They have this, if you like cheese, Jason, and then over here for me, this is Murray's mac and cheese.
Is it?
Yeah, look.
Oh, wow. That's, I have a little subsection.
Yeah, extremely overpriced, but
Well,
what do you expect?
take it up with Murray.
And this is Our Lady of Pompeii in the church.
And then what? Hemp? Is that?
They're eight. That
More
looks a little
weed?
bit like Hermes, the same type font as Hermes.
It's weed, though.
Yeah, well, maybe Hermes should get into that.
Designer weed, yeah. Did you notice, Charles, during the Kathy Hochul, Lee Zeldin debate, she said that, you know, they legalized marijuana to increase tax and whatever.
She's an idiot.
And I was just immediately thinking, but you didn't do that.
Well, and I mean, if you,
Here's Joe Biden's Corvette.
where?
He's
Flat
got a
tires.
convertible.
Yeah,
That's also the
and that's Bill
split
Clinton.
window. That's a very rare one.
I'm-
There's a lot of vintage buttons there, like post-punk and stuff.
yeah, nice.
For Tito.
It should be an S. But
Dennis Tito.
no, I'm for TITS.
Oh, that would be a much more popular button.
That's Bill Clinton.
So now, what was this right here that's for rent?
There was a Starbucks in here. I forget which one. Starbucks is over there,
Yeah,
you see?
right, yeah, you can see it already. The sign out of
It's
business.
pretty rare for Starbucks to go out of business.
I think they've been kind of consolidating their
But I mean,
stores.
but this is like a major confluence through here. You see it now. Tourists come here. Get your hat, Jason.
Well, I guess this is for Halloween, sort of junk.
Get your propeller hat.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's how Pete Buttigieg is going to revolutionize transportation. We don't need helicopters. You could just get this hat.
We'll go this way past your pizza place and
Sure, and let's check out what's happening in the park. So there was a lot of other news that I was wanting to discuss with you, Charles. So Russia released a statement that they've conducted their investigation and they've determined
Careful.
that the United Kingdom was involved in the terrorist attack of bombing the pipeline.
Yeah.
And the UK said that's absurd because Russia bombed themselves.
right.
So it's like arguing with a 5-year-old.
I know. And you know, it's one thing to argue with a 5-year-old. It's another thing to argue with 5-year-olds who have the largest stockpile of nuclear
Right.
weapons on Earth.
Well, the largest stockpile of nuclear weapons on Earth is Russia. The 5-year-olds are the United States.
That's what I'm saying. You're arguing with Russia
Oh
that has
God,
the.
it stinks over here.
Right.
Look at all this garbage.
Come on, that's part of the charm.
Ah, man. Charles, it's a wreck over here.
That's right.
Look at that. That other chicken place,
Popeyes?
not Popeyes, wasn't that some kind of Asian food place, or what was that thing?
I forget. It's depressing
Yeah.
how far down New York City has
Oh,
fallen.
so I guess they're getting it all fenced off for the Halloween parade.
Yes, tomorrow. I hope it rains like crazy, but it's not going to.
No, I don't think it's
So
expected
we'll go down
to.
West
Do you think there will be
3rd.
criminal chaos during the
course.
Halloween parade?
Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah, fair point.
But yeah, this, on the one hand, you've got what really happened in Nord Stream. Then you have the question of what's really going on with not only energy in Europe, but this thing that Tucker's been focused on, that we're now down to 23 days
Oh,
of supply
diesel.
of diesel.
It was very expensive all around the country as I was driving around. I remember
You
like
had diesel?
$6.99. No, I don't use it, but
Right.
I see the big signs on the highway advertising gas. And I've learned a lot about some of the tricks for gas advertising. But diesel was like $1 or $2 more than regular gas everywhere around.
Yeah. So this neck of the woods gets pretty bad at night over here. And
I'm surprised nothing's come in where this McDonald's was.
yeah. But after it gets dark, you know, people hang around in front of these cheap beer joints.
Right.
And NYU students in particular are here, getting drunker and drunker, and you got the Blue Note Jazz. And when the parade comes, this is just going to be absolutely jammed.
I mean, I wonder if the parade will be as big this year as it has been historically.
It'll may not be that big, but it'll be much bigger than last year.
The parking garage in my apartment building was emptier than I have ever seen it before.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. People are leaving.
Well, I figured for Halloween there would just be people, but it's Sunday. I suppose last night was everybody going crazy for Halloween.
I'm sure people are just leaving the city.
Yeah.
So,
Didn't Eric Adams make a big deal out of getting rid of these restaurant hunts and now they're all still here? Can that guy do anything?
no, he's a moron. He's a complete moron. Why? I mean, can you imagine having to go to the equivalent of his cabinet meeting? To sit there and listen to him talk about what he's going to accomplish this week.
He's just like a series of grammatical errors and stupid statements.
As my Lebanese friend used to get mispronounced English words, and he would say, "The guy's a maroon." No,
Well, he
meant
says-
moron. Oh, that's not maroon? No.
Well, should we
moron.
go up into the park and
Yeah,
check out the crazies?
up here, to the
So
left.
the thing that he said recently is, "We gon' kill rats."
That's like
It's like,
last
dude.
week. Everybody knows I don't like rats.
Yeah, but you're the mayor now.
Well, I don't know.
Do
Rats.
your best to speak English.
Well, rats have souls. I mean, it's
But
a living
doesn't
being.
he need a "we are going to kill rats"
no,
in there?
Come on. Come on. Yeah, we're in the center of NYU Law School area here.
Yeah. How's Weissman doing?
We'll see. He's probably begging in the park. It should be a spectacle in the park. This is that nice deli, which I won't be going to again until the spring because it's so cold in the morning. It's a nice place. Go to the park this way.
Get a wrap.
I love the work you're doing. I want you all
Thank
to
you.
know You're fantastic.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
There's more people on YouTube like you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Very nice of you to
so
stop
glad
and
I
say
saw you.
hello.
You're
Watch it.
wonderful.
That is so cool.
Happy Halloween.
Thank you very much.
That's funny.
That is.
How much did you pay him for that?
I mean, I just was not even.
Yeah, I mean the chance of that happening, right?
Pretty
we nearly
interesting,
didn't
right?
have we nearly didn't have the second stream, right?
You know, you're right, Charles. The odds of walking around New York City and just a random person recognizing us says a lot about the reach of the show. And I mean,
It's not evident in the statistics, but
well, because again, all of that stuff is so badly manipulated. I mean, it's so obvious. There have been so many examples of it. And I mean, look, I don't know. When I heard about this Elon Musk Moderation Council, I
don't like councils.
I don't like councils, and I don't have a very good feeling about that. That sounds like a way for him to mitigate the concerns of advertisers and prevent me from getting back onto Twitter. Not me specifically, but
Right.
sounds like a little bit of a tempering of what he initially said. But he's already, as I said earlier, he's already changed it because Hillary Clinton expected to use her vast reach on that thing. I mean, the truth of the matter is when you watch a Hillary Clinton podcast and you watch any of the shows that we do, whether it's you and I, or going around the country doing interesting stuff with Cullen, Lee Stranahan, going to London with David Hawkins, Hillary Clinton is an uninteresting person who produces uninteresting television, and she just sucks.
Well,
But millions of people are on that Twitter account.
In theory, and you saw this argument of hers that the Supreme Court is going to make it so that state legislatures can overturn the presidential election in 2020. It's like we'll run into, I'm sure, Methuselah or some crazy ape man shortly here in Washington Square Park. They have more of a finger on the pulse of reality than Hillary does. And another point I would make, I mean, I actually found, though I hate his politics, I found Jon Stewart when he was doing Comedy Central, Comedy, whatever it is. He was hilarious on that show, right? But now he's got a podcast.
But it's not good.
It's horrible. It's the
I don't know
four
what
of them.
happened.
I watched it. Supposedly he was saying that the Biden family is straight up corrupt, and I was waiting for that segment.
And he didn't say it?
Eventually he did. So you had to watch for 30 minutes, but it was four guys, you know, with the same outfits, most of them beards now, and the same headphones and glasses.
Yeah.
And, you know, most uninteresting. And here's Jon Stewart, fuck this shit, that. I mean, you know.
Oh, because they're trying to be Joe Rogan.
But that's just, that's not interesting. I mean,
Right.
try doing that without cursing. When I do it from time, I do it regularly, you know, not every other word.
I'm telling you, it's that they think, oh no, our industry was supplanted by podcasting, so we now need to be podcasters,
Right.
and they're just not really able to do it. I mean,
So, what do we want to broadcast here?
it smells a little like weed here, Charles.
Here's Mr. Numchuck.
Oh, really?
This guy here with the nunchucks.
What's he doing?
I don't know. He's a little
He's
old.
crazy.
He's effing the tree.
This is not what you're supposed to do with nunchucks.
He's a little on the old side.
He looks crazy to me.
Let's go to the right of
I
him.
actually know how to operate nunchucks. Maybe
Well,
I should take them from him and
No.
demonstrate. He
Let's
does not.
Let's stay away from. See if he can.
You're not allowed to do that, by the way.
All right.
Don't go near him.
It'd be pretty funny
Is that
if
Bruce Lee?
he'd whip those up like, bam!
That guy seems drunk. Now wait a minute. Oh yeah, no, they do. See, that's the flag that the guy had at his house. This is the weed states of America.
Do happy.
At first I thought it was LGBT, but it's just weed.
Uh huh.
So he had that. He had a Black Lives Matter sign.
All right.
He's a nudist and he participated in some nude wedding at City Hall in San Francisco, so he's pretty well known. And then, Elon Musk raises the point that I wasn't even aware of or thinking about, that gay bars close at 2. And
In San Francisco, I think all bars close at 2.
What are two dudes doing at 2:30 in the morning having a naked hammer fight?
With zip ties.
It's just very weird.
Yeah.
Something actually does happen.
You think they're paying income, sales taxes on all these sales that aren't happening?
No.
Sour Patch Kids.
I mean, I don't mind it so much when it's a weekend thing and it's art and legal stuff, but when we make a big change to the law over a controversial topic that I know a lot of people don't agree with,
See, this
it
guy's
should
here
at least
every
have
day.
a purpose. Oh, I like that picture of the girl on the skateboard.
Pro
That's
row.
That's really nice.
Thank you very much.
Can people buy art from you online somehow?
And my Etsy right there.
Etsy. All right, great.
You're
Is-
here
is
more
that-
or less every day. I see you in the park.
I'm here a lot, but I have a life outside of every day.
What is that?
I'm up in East Harlem where my studio and my wife is, and so the next 3 days I'll be up there. I have to do a handful of prints that I'm behind on, and I've got a painting that I'm way behind. Well, I have many paintings I'm behind on, but so I'll be working on that for the next few days. Play some solid backgammon, get some really good bourbon drinking in.
And are you military background?
No,
No.
no, my dad was in the military, so I guess like if you go a generation back, yes.
Uh huh.
Get USAA insurance.
That's right, I could.
All right. Well, listen,
And
thanks.
and you professionally trained in art, or you just?
No, I was professionally trained as an actor, and I haven't done that in near a dozen years now. And this is what I do. I taught myself to do watercolor on canvas, which is then it was a fairly new technique.
Right.
But I didn't know anything different, so I thought, why not? And I fell
This
in love.
captures something. I really like this painting. Was this a young lady skating in the park here?
She was just a few months ago during peak summer, during a midweek. It was like a Wednesday.
And you what? Snap a photo and then paint
I
this, or
tried
you
to
just
snap
saw
a
her?
photo and I was unsuccessful on 3 trips around, and I caught a short video as part of the trip, and I caught a half a frame where I had to like stop. She's like in between 2 guys walking, and I freeze framed it, and
The rest is
spent
history.
a nice part of the heat wave, a week during the heat wave. Instead of being here sweating my ass off, I was sitting in my office.
It captures real life. I don't know. I like that. There's some
Also-
energy to
It's
that.
called Endless Summer.
And that art
Yeah,
is
that's
nice
good.
as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Endless summer.
Very nice.
You could make a sequel, call it Endless Bummer, and put Joe Biden on a skateboard.
I'll tell you, I did not know the girl when I saw her skate. She just was so at peace,
Right.
and it was some place I wanted to be, wherever that was, young and vital, and the sun was just hitting it, and it was just slow, lazy, barely kicking off at all, just long, slow ride around. And obviously I was enchanted and wanted, so.
Did she have chance to purchase any weed from the various vendors?
You know, I barely saw her except for the small section where she would appear coming out around the bend there.
All right.
And then she'd disappear in amongst the crowd, as it were.
Well, stay safe.
I met her for the first time
Ah.
yesterday.
Oh.
She came into the park to help some friends promote a movie and was standing right there. They set a table up right there, and she looked up and went, "Oh my God, that's me!"
That's really cool.
And she had the green Converse high tops on and the same bag.
Did you get her to sign the painting?
Oh no, I should have. No, I tell you, I was so. She was shocked and I was shocked, and it was a really beautiful moment actually, because as a painter, you rarely
interact
if you
with
just have that kind of I'm picking scenes from life and taking it with me.
That's good.
You rarely get a chance to have that kind of encounter.
Well, good luck to
Thanks
you.
for speaking to us. Have a nice
Thank you
day.
for stopping by. Happy
right.
Halloween.
You too.
Yeah, you too. I don't know, something about that painting.
He comes, you know, I generally sit over here in the morning, and he comes in the morning and he sets this thing up from scratch, and he puts it up every day and takes it down every day, at least when it's warm.
See, like a guy like that selling stuff in the park, particularly if he's got a permit to be here and whatever, that's all right, I think.
Well, now Tommy Bahama is a legitimate brand, right?
It is.
That must just be an umbrella from Tommy Bahama.
Right. Oh, yeah, and that's even their fish. So I guess you buy the umbrella at the store.
So shall we do a circuit through the drug zone and see
Sure.
what's up down there and come back?
Now, wait a minute. Oh, there was something interesting I read in the Post. Did you know that there's 20,000 dead people buried under here?
Yeah. This used to be a
Potter's
cemetery.
Field.
Yeah. You know, actually,
How did you know that? And you've been
because I
holding
grew up
out on
here.
me.
Huh?
You've been holding out on me, not
Well,
telling me that.
you know, I'm not going to regale you with everything I know about history.
That's true.
But no, this actually also was an execution grab.
Right. There's a tree that they were hanging people from. We're going to walk up to it right now.
You should get back into that business.
Hanging people?
Yeah.
I can't say I disagree. I've got to, wait, whoa. Look at this standing around
Yeah,
crew.
let's just leave it alone.
Not going to say anything to them, but here we have the law being broken right there,
They're not going to do anything. They've
and
been
the
told not
cops
to.
standing right there.
They've been told not
How
to. do
many
it.
of them are texting? How many of them are paying attention to anything at all?
There's like 12 of them.
They all suck.
Let's keep going.
They should all be fired.
Again,
Every
I
single
think
one of those officers.
I think they don't have the gumption to quit. All right, here's a poem person. They don't have the gumption. They've been, you know, if the boss tells you, look, you're not going to, you get your salary, you're just not going to do anything.
Why would you quit?
Because I mean, how can you only have so many days on the planet? Why would you want to spend your time doing that?
Well, if you
Let's
could
get
do
away from
nothing
this
and
guy.
get money,
Let's get away from him.
that's a pretty good deal that most people do not get.
See, that's the kind of aggressive panhandling that should not be
Oh my
allowed.
God, look at that, right
And then
there,
people-
with the baby. He
I
just
know.
gave the guy $1. That's a mistake.
Tell me about it.
What is going on there?
Who knows? Is that the?
But it seems like the heroin people are gone, Charles.
Well, that's what I wanted to show folks, because generally they have cops over here. These are, what is it, pentagrams or what are these?
Anarchy.
And that person's always in the park, barely standing up.
That guy
A
is
woman
into
or whatever
anarchy,
it is.
Charles.
Yeah. Fuck anarchy.
It's a little disorganized for my taste.
Well, I don't know if it's still the case, but it used to be the case that the dean of NYU Law School lived in that building on the penthouse, top 2 floors.
Pretty good.
Just happen to know their children.
Yeah, the heroin situation seems to be cleaned up, so
Well,
I guess that's
normally
a good
they
job.
have cops standing here now, so the bums seem to be less. But where they hang out is right here in the middle, in Washington Place. So we can walk to there and we'll go up the center.
This is the hanging tree.
This big one?
I think so.
Wow.
And there was apparently a sign on the ground that they showed in the Post that I've never seen that they said was at the entrance to the park.
Well, let's see. It's probably over here.
Maybe, but I don't really remember ever seeing it.
That's a big ass tree.
Suitable for hanging. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. Not here. See, it says right there. Why don't they either take that sign down or enforce it?
Because they don't give a shit.
But I mean, isn't this how you lose credibility? If you tell someone to do something and then you don't enforce it, they don't need to do it.
Obviously, they don't care about credibility. All right, now let's be careful here. To my left. Let's go up this way and make a right.
There's a Band-Aid back there if you need one, Charles.
Thanks. Yeah. I generally reuse Band-Aids that I
mean, they've
find in
had-
Washington Square Park. Look at the smoke coming out there.
No bicycling everywhere, but they just allow
Can
it.
you see the
What
smoke?
is that smoke?
I don't know. Probably people smoking weed.
That seems a little bit,
It's a lot of weed to be.
yeah, like a lot of smoke.
Some serious weed action.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it when Kathy Hochul said that they were taxing weed. That's obviously false.
She's like any one of these lunatics in the park with their stories. I mean, they're just
They might be more trustworthy.
yeah, on point, as it were.
This is crazy, bringing a computer to the heroin section of the park.
Why not? Maybe she's probably she's in charge of multi-currency swaps. Let's go up this way.
She looked,
She's like organizing all. Well, this person paid in euro, and this person paid in, British pounds.
she's the weed accountant.
Yeah, she's putting the books together on an hourly basis.
She's, what do you call that in stocks where there's somebody who closes out all the deals?
She's
So here's a guy riding one hand on the bike
with
in
a
the
poodle.
park.
He's an idiot.
He is an idiot.
Yeah. So right here in the center is the zone. Right here is where in the morning all the ruffians hang out. And
I mean, the thing that upsets me about all these people on the bike is that they're the same exact people who 2 years ago were telling us we're all in this together. Shut up, stay home, put on a mask, and get a vaccine.
Right.
Because you need to do something to protect me.
right,
While I ride a bicycle with one hand, smoking weed.
right. See that guy
On the
over
sidewalk.
there on the Nike. This guy over here. A bunch of the guys over there.
Ah, it smells like we're in the weed section now.
Right.
Oh, that guy's monetizing the video. Hey, everybody's doing everything in the park that you're not supposed to be doing,
The way it is, man.
including the cops.
But in fairness, I don't see that many costumes.
That's terrible weed.
Probably not weed. They're smoking like, dog shit. What's weed? Weed is, you say it's weed, but it looks a lot to me like dog shit. You haven't smoked enough of it yet. What's this?
What is going on there? Use your voice. Whoa. What, we got bunnies?
To change
Cows.
the
You
world.
see this?
Yeah.
Stop wearing animals. It's a vegan thing. They're kowtowing to the.
So how are we on time?
Well, we can do whatever you want. I mean, the battery is now working, so we can go as long as you like. And we got cut off there in the middle, so.
It's up to you. I mean,
Yeah, no, I don't mind. If there's, let's see if people have any comments for us, Charles. Perhaps there are
Sure.
questions.
What is Mr.
Some
Numbchuck?
TikToking going on here.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of that here.
Smoking a giant joint, watching these girls dance. We've got a whole
Looks like he's
bizarre.
smoking a tampon.
It was a very, very big joint that he had there. All right, so let's see. Any questions for Charles? People say the weather is great. That's true. Late night ice cream delivery. Yeah, and people were noticing that was Tracy Chapman. We
Tracy
can get it.
Chapman is here?
Well, that song that guy
Oh.
was playing was Tracy Chapman Fast Car or something it's called. Well,
Here's
let's
Pete
head up that
Buttigieg.
way. Where?
With the hat.
With the wizard hat.
Yeah, he's looking for racist
Here's
roads.
this guy with the typewriter. What's he?
He's a
Why is
poet.
there a line for the typewriter?
He's going to do a poem for you.
But there's a line for that?
It's the village, man. Halloween, it's the village. Line for the poet, none for the tarot reading. Tarot.
Somebody says Chad was the other guy at Pelosi's house. Who the hell is Chad?
Chad, I got no idea. Hanging Chad?
Somebody is saying that there was an article in the Post that dogs are getting stuck with discarded heroin needles and eating drugs that they're finding in the park.
I wouldn't doubt it.
People's dogs are getting.
I
probably,
found,
that would
when
kill
I was a
dog.
kid, I found a heroin needle in the park.
So this is why. I mean, why are they bothering to program that sign to say no skating?
Again,
This contradictory behavior bothers me. If you want to take that sign down and make the park a free-for-all, let's just make it clear. But when you tell people that no bicycling, no beating people up, no assaulting people, and then you tell the cops, hey, that person's riding a bicycle and just assaulted me, and they do nothing, that's confusing.
yeah. Well, or I mean, when you have the level of security that in theory the Secret Service has for various and sundry people, but somehow, you know, Paul and his friend and whoever else was in there are having a hammer and zip tie party at 2:30 in the morning in San Francisco. And you know, what's her name? Dianne Feinstein has a Chinese
people working
chauffeur,
for her.
and Eric Swalwell is
Yeah.
screwing around with Fang Fang, and we're supposed to believe that the Secret Service actually does anything.
But is Nancy Pelosi protected by the Secret Service or the U.S. Capitol Police? How
She
come
should
no
be.
one?
She should be protected by Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. I mean,
It would be better than what they have
Right.
now, obviously. But you know, remember, the U.S. Capitol Police failed on January 6th,
or succeeded, depending on how
or
you look at
succeeded
it.
depending on what their goal was. They
Right.
failed now. So people are saying, oh well, but you know, because Nancy wasn't there. But doesn't her husband also get protection? Obviously, attacking.
Apparently not. When not unless she's there. Which again, I mean, I think we have been laboring, and this has actually been one of the great benefits of this recent period under Joe Biden, where we've all been assuming that whether it's Dr. Fauci, you know, who could get up there and before March 20th saying, yes, it's okay to go on a Tinder date.
But make sure she's really slutty.
Right, exactly. You know, so
And do not buy her an iPhone on the first date.
right.
I really want advice from Fauci if he's going to get into Tinder advice. You know?
Right, you know, exactly. So you got Mr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci.
You want to use the super swipe.
That's right. You know, I mean, so the whole healthcare edifice, which soaks up a third of our GDP, probably when you count insurance alongside healthcare costs.
Wow.
And you know that people are looking at that. Then you look at the pundits who are getting everything wrong. I mean, these polls are all wrong, as we're about to see. That's something I like to talk about. I actually.
Sure.
Here we are, New York, New York. That little rat, Schumer, was out there, and he just loves to be in the center of attention on television. He's on the tarmac with the resident, explaining to him on a hot mic, hey, you know, the Georgia Senate race is not going as well as we'd hoped.
Right.
And he gets picked up on a hot mic. Now, I've got a piece
No,
on
he
work.
said it didn't hurt us too much.
No, that's the Pennsylvania one. And then he said
Oh.
on Georgia, it's not going our direction. And so I'm working on a piece now, which may or may not make it into press this coming week, depending on how lazy I feel, on looking at the situation in New York. And there's a Quinnipiac poll out as of the 18th of October. So that's like almost 2 weeks ago, before the shift became evident that people have not been telling the truth, that
Right.
critics of the Biden administration are just shutting up because they don't want the FBI raiding them. And they're not, you know, right? I mean, they're just not telling the
Oh,
truth.
look who's
to
moved
Paul-
in. She.
Yeah, exactly.
Social engineering? Oh, no, social engagement.
So these polls, I think, really undercount the degree to which folks are going to come out and
Yeah.
vote against the establishment. And that is Democrats voting against moderate, corrupt Clinton Democrats, progressives doing that, independents leaving the Democrat and the Republican Party, people like me, and Republicans saying, fuck Paul Ryan, and the country, like Karl Rove and these assholes, you know, and who were making millions, tens of millions of dollars off the process of putting a bitch McConnell in power and other people like him. I think you're going to see an unbelievable rejection at the polls of the status quo.
What has Paul Ryan been doing, though? Kind of nothing. And by the way, look at this, Charles.
Well, Paul Ryan's the vice chair of Teneo.
Oh my God.
And he's on the board of Fox parent company.
I don't think I remembered that about Teneo, but you love these Jeeps, Charles, and this is electric.
No, see, this is a gigantic.
But this is electric. You see,
yeah.
it's got a
There's
plug
no
right
point.
there.
There's no freaking point.
Wrangler
My Jeep
Unlimited.
was a two-door, and it was from 1983.
Oh, it's hybrid. It's got gas also, but see, it says 4xe.
I'm sure that's like $80,000 or something.
Oh, probably, because the other thing that I was seeing is that they're expecting a lithium battery shortage, so you're not allowed to buy a gas car.
We're not going to be far away from the time where it's going to be more expensive to fill up your electric car than it
Yes.
would be to fill up your gas car. So, but just staying on the
Paul
polls,
Ryan, yeah.
I think narrowly in New York, I know because I looked into Hillary Clinton's races, that there was a lot of money in her two campaigns in 2000 and 2004. I think they were among the most expensive Senate campaigns, but and she had the very high name recognition that she has. But here you have Chuck Schumer running against a person. I bet you don't even know the guy's name.
I don't.
It's a funny name.
What is it?
Makes me wonder if it's a real name. Joe Pinion, not Joe Opinion.
Rack and pinion?
Yeah, Joe Pinion. Joe Pinion
What's
is.
Joe Pinion about?
I know. And Joe Pinion is apparently, according to this Quinnipiac poll, he's at like 45%, and
Yeah, because
Schumer's at
everybody
like,
hates Schumer.
well, I don't know. Schumer's a fucking, he's a power in this state. I think people like him downstate and loathe him upstate.
You reminded me of something when you mentioned Chuck Schumer, because that time that I saw him on the train, he definitely had a guy with him who, I don't know if he was Secret Service or Capitol Police, but he was wearing like a, blue jacket with a badge sort of pin on it. And when I walked into the car, it was just very clear that this guy was guarding Schumer. And I looked right at him and I said, "Can I speak to the senator?" And he just kind of like motioned, "Sure, go ahead." But I would think that Nancy Pelosi and her family would have a security detail
Yeah,
to
but
prevent them from getting
Yeah, I agree. But just staying on the significance of this poll.
over there.
No, I want to go up to
Oh, I
Union
thought you
Square.
were making some sort of gesture.
Staying on the significance of the poll for a second, New York is a pretty key state that the Democrats have been counting on. The last president to sweep New York was Reagan in 80 and 84. Republican. And if New York goes into play for 2024 is a consequence of Schumer not really squashing Joe Pinion the way he should. I think Schumer will win, but it could be real close. Closer than we would think. Well, I mean, you could have a combination of really unfortunate events for Schumer. One, that the people in Williamsburg and elsewhere are too smoked out to show up at the polls.
You're not talking about the Hasids, you mean the hipsters.
Well, no, and here the Hasid, I mean, Dov Hivkin, who's, I don't know that he's Hasid, but he's certainly Jewish, and he's very actively followed by the Jewish politically active community. He has endorsed Zeldin over Hochul. So if you have a combination of weak turnout in downstate and an epic turnout upstate,
that's new.
You could find yourself like I'm going to vote for the first time in a by-election or an off-year election since 1998. I'm voting, and I'm voting, not Republican necessarily. I'm voting anti-establishment.
Right.
I'm voting down every initiative that I don't like, and I'm just one person, but I would encourage others in the crowd to get out and vote. And don't vote for the status quo, because the status quo has failed everybody, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, non-aligned. And it's, you look at a guy like Joe Biden, why the fuck does that miserable rat have 2 mansions, an expensive Corvette,
theft,
ne'er-do-well children living like multimillionaires, connections to all these suspicious international types. America's down a rat hole, and this family's living like they're fucking Vanderbilts.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And his comments as president, I mean, this is a guy who's supposed to be the consummate Washington, D.C. insider, who in theory knows, as a politician.
Doesn't even know how many states there are.
As a politician, you're supposed to be attuned to the process of, how the media sets topics for discussion and what's important and what isn't important. This guy's talking about, and another thing, I know my Inflation Reduction Act, which had nothing to do with that, was all about green energy. That hasn't kicked in yet, but the way to fight inflation is to buy off-price Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
I can tell you where to do it. You just dial 1-800 off-price Raisin Bran. Got it?
I have 3 words for you, Charles. Raisin bran.
I mean,
Oh, P.F. Chang's is there now.
it's not yet open.
Now, wait a minute. There was something in the newspaper about the CEO of that is 33 and is a Wall Street wonderkind.
Well, I mean, he must be the new CEO.
Yeah, that thing has been around for a long time.
I went to a P.F. Chang's in 2008. So
Right, it's been there for a while.
That's 14 years ago. He would have been 19,
Yeah,
so I doubt he
don't
was the
think he started
CEO
it
then.
It's in the Amalgamated Lithographers building.
That's where you.
Now something is happening with the sound again. All right, maybe it's done. I don't know. Hopefully.
So I've pushed you up to 14th Street here to Union Square.
You want to go left?
No, I want to look at Union Square for a second.
Sure.
I never want to go left.
Right. Soul Witch. What is that? Grilled chicken.
It's
arugula?
Korean. It's a joke, Jason. It's a joke.
Right. But this was the chicken place. Now it's Lenny's.
It is.
Another guy with a bicycle on the
Go back
sidewalk.
to fucking Honduras. Luke's Lobster doesn't seem to be doing too well. Of course, at 23 bucks a sandwich, I guess you're not gonna.
It's a strange thing, right? Like a fast food, expensive place. I'm not sure that was a good idea.
It's lobster with mayonnaise, and it's like,
Yeah,
is that really something you want to eat?
Well, I don't know. That was a Shark Tank thing, wasn't it? They seem to be everywhere.
Oh.
Or, I don't know. Was it a Shark Tank thing?
I
I
don't
don't really remember.
So if you want, we can go one of two ways. We can go over to 7th if you want to end quickly, or we can go that way down back through the parking lot. It's up to you.
Well, we'll head over to 7th because
Okay.
this is the direction that we're going.
Let me just check this.
Sure. Wow.
That guy is always there with the
Not a
same
good
story.
day for him.
He's always there with the same story.
Well, so while I was gone, I missed that whole dust-up with Eric Adams making a fancy tent city for homeless migrants, pissing off
The
homeless New Yorkers.
Yeah, I know.
What happened with all of
I haven't been au courant on that.
Huh?
I haven't been up to date with that.
Oh,
Nice
speaking
garbage.
French on me.
Good to have the garbage out here on the street. Oh, good reminder. The Brazilian election results
yeah.
are coming in as we speak.
Bolsonaro and Lula.
It'll be quite interesting to see. You know, the polls anticipate that Lula's going to win, but if Bolsonaro wins, that will be quite interesting.
Charles, we got nothing but maniacs around.
This is nice garbage.
Maniacs and garbage.
I mean, this is a nice look to have the garbage.
It's everywhere.
And what is this guy doing on the bike?
He's just
And here we go.
rolling around
This guy's
causing
it's
trouble.
covering his butthole.
That's a splash guard.
And here's another guy. Look at that.
It's not good.
And there's a security guard over there, making sure that the bums don't float over onto his property.
Well, I don't think I expected New York to improve really while I was gone.
Again, I mean, I think it's not as if, you know what the budget, the city government budget is? Because I do.
I think you've told me, but I don't remember.
It's $100 billion a year.
It's insane.
And so that's a lot of money. This is this practice I was telling you
Oh,
about.
I know. I see it all the time, and
Amazon.
I hate it. Because these guys are contractors, so they just do whatever they want, and people think they're Amazon, so nobody says anything. But it should not be allowed.
Absolutely not. And you know, it's not like I have high confidence my package is well
Right.
handled.
Protected. Somebody come
Here's
along
the-
and steal that.
There's the manager, eagle-eyed, getting ready to get his falafel or whatever he's
I guess
getting.
he's watching for theft.
No, I think he's waiting for his chicken platter. That's where Bernie Getz used to live.
I told you that I met him, right? I was
Yeah.
trying to get him on the show, but he did
You
not.
couldn't get him?
Did not want to be on the show.
Not one of your good gets?
No, I actually had a lengthy conversation with him on the subway, and I rode with him downtown on the subway. A viewer was friends with Bernie Getz from way back in the day. This viewer had contacted me because she wanted to create her own podcast, and she sort of paid me as a consultant to help her set up her podcast studio, and mentioned that she knows Bernie Getz. So one of the times I was helping her set up, Bernie came over, we had a chat, we rode downtown on the subway, and he said to me, "You're not wearing a mask?" And I said, "No." He said, "If you're not wearing a mask, I'm not wearing a mask." And I said, "Hey, I like it that Bernie Getz has taken my lead on the subway. Let's hope nobody tries to mess with us."
But
he didn't want to
before
be
he
on
shot
the
the
show.
people on the show, he said, "Do you shoot people on the subway?" I guess
Yeah,
I'll do that.
did it too, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Let's wait for this.
Sure, yeah, the craziness. Well, I'm sort of surprised we didn't see more people with Halloween costumes, Charles.
Oh, they'll be on the television tonight, I'm sure. It's going to be mayhem today and tomorrow in particular. Yeah, the parade is tomorrow night.
Right. So someone's talking about Mr. Pillow. I don't know what they're talking about.
My Pillow,
We're not
something new
really
happened.
dealing with the pillow.
Has something? Is there anything on about the Brazil results? They released the first poll at 4:00 supposedly.
Well, let's see. This is right or left. Brazil showdown. Algorithms push fraud. This is according to Drudge. Pelosi attack shocks the country. Yeah, they're talking about how this guy, DePappy, was posting about the 17th letter of the alphabet. It's amazing how much mileage they're trying to get out of that, Charles. The other thing we should mention is that there was a Ty Clevenger's legal case. The FBI is messing
66
around
years, yeah.
with this stuff about the Seth Rich laptop. They had previously said, so Rod Wheeler, you'll recall, told me personally that the FBI had possession of the Seth Rich laptop and that was why DC Metro didn't have it. Then in the Ty Clevenger thing, they said they don't have it. Then they produced emails that they said came from it. Then now in the latest Ty Clevenger thing, they say, no, we had a compact disc.
Right.
That is mentioned multiple times in the filing. And it says that it is containing, I believe the article said it was an image of the hard drive, but that's wrong.
Right.
Let's just drop some vocabulary words here. Because when you image a hard drive, what that means is, so you can buy a computer right now, it might have a hard drive, I don't know, mine is 8 terabytes, but most people won't get that.
Right.
Let's
Mine
say
is
one,
not.
no, maybe 1 terabyte,
No, I doubt it.
500 gigabytes, something like that. But to image it, that means you are taking a sort of a snapshot, a digital snapshot of the entire contents of the hard drive. And to do that, you need another storage device that is at least as big, generally bigger, than the thing you're trying to image. Because like if you have 50 gallons of water, you need at least a 50-gallon water bucket to put it in. 25 gallons, it's not gonna fit. You might get a 60-gallon one, so you have a little extra. So a compact disc, they were introduced in like 1981, and from a digital data standpoint is a seriously outmoded storage medium that holds 640 megabytes. Okay, 1 gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes. So 640 megabytes is coming nowhere near holding your 500 gigabyte hard drive, and they did not image the hard drive. So what is it that the FBI has? They say compact disc many, many, many times. That's a very specific thing.
Right. Well, I think in addition to the laptop question, there was another request that says, do you have any notes or anything pertaining to an investigation of this matter? And the original answer on the notes, not the laptop, was we got nothing.
Right.
And then they came back and they said, well, actually we have, Fitton got it, I think. We have a whole bunch of stuff that we said we didn't have. And again, with this whole, I mean, when I started on this, I remember meeting with Judge Napolitano and saying, listen, I'm new at this, I'm inclined to hold the FBI out there on a pedestal, and he'd say, oh yeah. I said, well, Judge, I want to ask you a very simple question. Do you trust James Comey?
No.
And he couldn't say, it was one of these things where, well, if you don't immediately say yes, the
That's
answer
a no.
is no.
Yeah.
I'll give you a no. And it was like, It was like Fetterman on the question of whatever.
Good night, everyone.
No, but then he was asked a question and he's just like this.
Yeah.
That was, I mean,
That's the answer.
Knapp didn't do that, but I mean, it was not an immediate resounding yes. Comey's fantastic. In this instance, he helped. In that instance, he helped. It was like a big airball.
Right.
I use that phrase advisedly in the case of Judge Knapp, but I think this whole on the question of Seth Rich and the FBI. I mean, I just don't trust any part of the narrative having to do with forget the 2020. I don't.
Happening again. We just lost. I can't hear it. I don't know if we have sound here now or not. Levels are jumping, so let's keep going. Sorry, you don't trust anything with the
pertaining to the analysis of the 15-16 election.
Right.
Well,
you're allowed to doubt that one. Hillary does it.
Right,
all the time.
right. So I don't understand why it took the FBI so long to open up the two investigations they claim they opened up January of 2016. I don't understand the process of clearing Hillary Clinton. I don't understand how James Comey subsequently appointed Mueller. What's this?
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like a band. It's the
This is
Salvation Navy.
Yeah.
Salvation Army. Chat, is the sound
Are we going
still
to get the
working?
whatever it is? Do you want to go across the street, or do you?
No, this is fine.
So we can get drowned out here. He's got a big knife in his left hand. You see that guy? He's
What?
got a gigantic knife in his left hand.
I did not see him.
Go around this way.
By the way, we have some New Testaments here, so soldiers, if
Yeah,
you
it's the
feel like
Salvation
sharing
Army.
them with someone, please do take advantage of that, please.
Thank you.
Over 2 months ago, I had the privilege of and the challenge at the same time.
That's the first time I've
go
seen
to
anything happening outside the Salvation Army.
Wow. This guy gave me
What is that?
it's a program. You want to come tonight? I said,
Once upon a, what does it say?
Manger.
Oh, well, what does Halloween have to do with mangers?
So this is Sunday, December 4th.
Oh. Maybe they're fighting Halloween. Okay, we have sound, so I can't hear it, but we still have sound, so we'll keep going. I tell you, Charles, this is something I actually wanted to share with everybody. When I was on the road trip, I went back to South Dakota to see Lee Stranahan, went to Mount Rushmore, where the previous time I had been to Mount Rushmore was with a former co-host, Quinn Michaels, who did a lot of really interesting shows with, and then we had a break in the relationship and we're not working together anymore. But people wanted me to restore the videos where Quinn and I went to the mine in South Dakota and then the Fermi Lab in Chicago and everything. So I've set about a project to restore all of the videos with Quinn Michaels. And I think it might be the first leg of a project to restore all of the legacy Crowdsource the Truth videos. But I was faced with a number of problems in doing that. If I put them on YouTube, they'll be immediately deleted for ban evasion because there are people who monitor everything I do and alert social media platforms in ways that make it difficult for me to do things. So what I've done is I've started a new Odyssey channel.
There you go.
Separate from the existing Odyssey channel. And it's going to be a members only channel, separate from people who are sponsoring the show on Subscribestar and Patreon, because a lot of people have already seen these videos and might not care to watch them or whatever. But also, it's a tremendous amount of work to restore them.
Sure.
It has required a lot of work to back them up. I've been through 2 or 3 different computers and 3 very large storage devices since those videos were created. So the work, the investment in maintaining that stuff, I hope that people understand. But it's going to be a new and separate membership on Odyssey.com. And the channel is called CSTT_legacy, like Crowdsource the Truth Legacy.
I'll let you go from here.
And I've started to upload some of the videos with Mr. Michaels to that. And if people have questions, they can email me. Of course, you can see new shows and access the sponsor-exclusive content and the whole library of sponsor-exclusive content by becoming a sponsor on subscribestar.com/crowdsourcethetruth and patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth. If you enjoyed the road trip, please consider becoming a sponsor. I've got a huge credit card bill from all the gas and hotels that I got to pay. So,
What about oil?
I had to do an oil change while I was out there.
Gas
But
and oil.
But no, the oil change was free because after that accident, you know, remember last road trip, somebody rear-ended me and Ford didn't have the parts. So when I called the product manager for the Ford Escape, she was nice enough to not only get the parts over to Staten Island right away, they gave me this extended warranty that's like $4,000 if you buy it when the car is new, and the oil change was included in that. So it's a very good deal, and thank you, Ford. And if you, I fully recommend Ford. I like Ford a lot. They didn't pay me to say that, but...
And you're not a shareholder.
I'm not a shareholder in Ford, but I own the
Nor
car.
am I.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week.